KNSI. Welcome back to another edition of Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate every Thursday morning at 7:23. Then again Saturday morning at 7:50 here on KNSI. Find out what is going on in today's real estate market. Don't get left behind. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi Voigt, good morning. Great to have you back.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, lots and lots of things to talk about. Do you remember when people would sit on their front porch? And it'd be the end of the day, and everybody's coming home from work, and hello, Mr. Johnson, hello, Mr. Back and forth, right?
Absolutely.
Then we started building decks in the backyard, so people would come home, the garage door goes up, car drives in, garage door goes down, and we wouldn't see our neighbors anymore.
Exactly.
And neighborhoods are so important. Knowing who those people are, all that kind of stuff. And now today, you bring some information regarding porches and patios and pole buildings and pools and all of that kind of stuff. What does that all have to do with real estate?
Well, I think we talk a lot about values and what people are doing in their homes. And I had an experience yesterday where a gentleman had closing, and he's like, if I put this into my kitchen and this into my bathroom, what do I gain back for values? And, those are things to easily wrap your hands around. But, where we really see true values, where people are willing to pay more for a property, is when amenities are injected into a house that make people want to stay there all the time, year-round, or whatever it would be. And so we've seen the evolution of those things where porches are still very important. But yesterday I was with some people, and they were both talking about their porches. One had one that they were improving, and they're injecting a TV into their screen porch, and another person that's actually turning their deck into a 3-season porch. And those are backyard things, and I still do think it draws neighbors. It draws neighbors to your backyard, but they're items that people are definitely willing to invest in.
Sure. But think about this, Heidi. When you're trapped inside, if it's raining, the kids can go outside and play on the porch.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just remember doing that. My friends all had porches. I didn't have one. I loved going out there and playing on the porch.
For sure. Because you're outside, and really, that may be across the United States kind of thing, but I think we're unique in Minnesota that we want to extend our seasons
as much as we can.
Yeah, as long as we can, late at night as we can, avoid the mosquitoes, whatever it might be, so that we're outside experiencing our place, And so some of these amenities that people are starting to put in their homes, and I go home, I tell my husband, I'm like, we need one of these. We don't need any of that, but I think it's kind of the evolution of, where people go out to eat now, and it used to be just a treat to go out to eat. Well, now it's a lifestyle. People go out to eat all the time. So the experience of dining out has become elevated, where people want it to actually be an experience. And I see housing going that way as well, where people are creating a living experience within their own homes, and it's going to show up in their homes based on what they're passionate about.
Do you remember the first time you heard the phrase outdoor kitchen in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I know several people that have them.
Absolutely.
And they are places that you want to visit.
Yeah.
You want to go there and, sit on the kitchen, under the pergola, in the shade, not go inside at all, and and people are excited about that.
I love grilling outside in the winter. I love having that fire pit going because I can stand right there, and you know what? The ice cubes don't melt so fast either.
There you go, for sure. Well, and you see, all these things that we're able to inject in those outdoor spaces to extend the season. They've got the patio heaters.
Look at the lighting now.
Yeah. So much fun. And all I want in my life is some fairy lights, some patio lights, and you go see some of these places, and they're just amazing. And people want that, and people will pay for it. Sure.
Now, you started off by talking about kitchens and bathrooms. Those are good investments, right? If you want to spruce your place up, that is for sure. But boy, all these other things just make your house so much more livable, right? You're going to be there anyway. Why not enjoy it?
Exactly. So when I talk to people about that, the balancing act of injecting large amounts of money into some of these amenities that you're going to absolutely love, the weighing out factor with that is really do it for yourself, and let the test of time of that's going to just become more expensive to do as time goes on. But when you're in a market where you have it and you don't have it, and the inventory levels are maybe a little bit more consistent, it will sell your house.
You know, think about, you always hear, if I put a pool in my backyard, I know where my kids are going to be.
Exactly.
And I know where the rest of the neighborhood kids are going to be. And people like that. It adds a quality of life to the entire neighborhood.
It sure does, and you know, and if you're like most of us, when your kids are young, maybe you can't do that, but we are seeing a lot of grandparents put things into their houses that are going to draw their kids and their grandkids to come home as well, and creating family spaces for everyone.
And think of the memories, right? If you do that outdoor kitchen, you do that pool, whatever, and your kids are growing up, that's all they're going to have in their heads is all the great time with mom and dad at home.
Yep, exactly. So definitely, I think it's worth it, and I think that you know, the different spaces that we go to when I'm walking around with clients looking at homes, there's no client that ever said that garage is too big or that pole building you know, isn't nice enough for me. People like that. They want to be able to store their hobbies and their passions, and those are good investments.
So when I see that stuff, right, if I'm out looking for houses and homes really, and I see those things, my mind starts working. Oh boy, think of what I can put in there.
Exactly. And again, and that, you know, if you have it, then we're buying it, and that's all good stuff for the entire economy. I just really, when people ask me if we should do it, the question for me that I would ask people is, how long do you plan on staying? Right. Will it bring you enjoyment? You will get that back over time in a sales price, but the suggestion that I would have to people in most cases is, make it as maintenance-free as possible. Right. Use the maintenance-free products. You know, use hardscapes that aren't going to require a lot of upkeep and aren't going to create a lot of cracking and different things like that. You know, just make it as maintenance-free as possible.
Less work so you can enjoy that space with your family.
Exactly.
Heidi, you always bring such great ideas, such a great way to look at property. It's not just a house, it's a home.
Definitely it is. And you know, so we talked about a few P's: the porches, the patios, the pole buildings, pools, and I guess the biggest P that we would also emphasize is having a professional to help you navigate through that purchase, and we'd love it if people considered us to do that.
That would be VoigtJohnson Real Estate. Toughest question of the day. What is your phone number?
You can reach us, reach me personally at 320-250-1001. Our office line is 320-774-2400.
Heidi, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
AM 1450, FM 99.3, KNSI. Taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate, Thursdays at 7:23, Saturday morning at 7:50 here on KNSI. Start your home search at VoigtJohnson.com.